Let's talk about something new. Uni Toirono. I was so excited when these showed up. I knew nothing about them. I'm a fan of Mitsubishi pencils, and I'll say it now, I'm a fan of Mitsubishi pencils for all the wrong reasons. I think those pencils definitely come with a learning curve. They're not my favorite to use. I just have this soft spot for them. So when I realized that Uni had another set of pencils out, I was ecstatic. In fact, I bumped this review up on my list because I was so excited to get this out to you. If this looks and sounds familiar, it's because of Posca. It's the same setup. So I'm sure, like they use the same tray mold to put them in, to put the pencils in this set. Now, one of the things that my biggest downside, the price point versus how many pencils you were getting in this set was, to me, the downfall of Posca. I knew with 36 colors, that was just a very limited palette. But, lo and behold, what we have here is even less colors at 24. So I knew I was going to have my work cut out for me when it came to, creating an entire picture with just the 24 colors. Let us jump into this. So something I'm going to point out, because I can't not point it out. Does this remind you of anything? So for those of you, and I'm talking to a limited amount, that, remember the VHS tapes, 100% when I opened this up, I thought instantly that, Japan just had a whole bunch of these VHS boxes and they wanted to go ahead and use them for these cases. I was just, even the design, the way it's laid out, it looks like one of those generic VHS boxes. So I had to actually borrow one to look at it to make sure it wasn't the same box. And I was positive it was, but it is not. The actual VHS boxes are a little smaller and thinner, but it's one of those funny things that popped into my mind when opening it. What an odd design. And then one of my friends made the comment about, boy, they went all out on that artwork, didn't they? Which was the exact same thing I thought. It's minimal art at its finest. But having said that, someone else told me how much they loved this artwork and they like the simplicity of it. So to each their own. I had to mention that just because we're appreciating. That's what we do. Let's look in the box. Now, I don't know what any of this says. It's all Japanese characters, but I'm pretty sure most of us could break down what they're trying to say just from the design on here. You talk about a uniquely designed pencil was the first thing I saw when realizing how the pencil was broke up with the little white bar. I thought that was really fun and unique. So if we look at the colors, the way they're laid out, again, we're talking about a very, very basic color palette. And again, it was just a little intimidating knowing I was going to just use these colors to color my picture. But I want to show you one of these. Let's look at the green here. So on one side, we have Uni Toirono, and then we have what I'm guessing, because all of these are different per pencil, I'm guessing this is the pencil's color's name. And then we have the organization number, which is towards the top, which I enjoy. But when we flip it over here, we have the company information and a barcode, which usually represents your open stock pencils. But again, I found little to nothing on this set of pencils, which I think that's what kind of thrilled me. If y'all know anything about these, if they would happen to have open stock and I just couldn't find anything, let me know in the comments below. But again, this is just a set I knew nothing about. The leads are, it's an open back, so you can see the size of the lead. The leads are so centered and so bold. The factory cut on these were really, really nice. Let's look at the swatch sheet. So again, these colors are jarring. The lack of colors they have. It's a beautiful palette. It's very, very bold colors, very deep colors. It's your true basically all your Crayola True 8 colors. You have your yellow, your orange, your red, your purple, but they do take a step further and give you variants of that. But the good news is they have your base color, your light, and your dark. So here I have my true yellow, then a lemon yellow, and then an orange. And then same thing with the brown. You have your base brown, your dark chocolate, and your light umber. And same thing with the greens. They touch down on your turquoise, your greenish blues, and they touch down on the blue also, where they give you a basic darker blue and a basic lighter blue. They give you the one purple, so you got to make that work. The basic peach, got to make that work. Something that I did think was interesting is, they did give you the grays, which is good, but you notice they left off the white. They gave you the black, which I never use, and I found myself using it constantly when I was playing around with these pencils, just to give me some more variety of colors. But they didn't give me a white, which was fantastic. If they would have threw a white in here and, God forbid, some metallics, they would have eliminated some of these colors that I definitely needed. So I was really, really glad. I felt that was considerate to leave the white off. And again, something that was worth noticing. Something else before I talk about the attributes. The tray on this has such a design to it that the pencils almost feel magnetized. It's in the tray in such a way that when they get bumped or moved, that the wobble in them. This is silly that I'm pointing this out, but again, we're just appreciating everything about the pencil. The trays are just so uniquely set up that it snuggles each of these pencils and just makes them feel like they're really well protected. And again, I think that was something worth pointing out. Now let's talk about the attributes of this pencil. Going into it, if you're not planning on mixing these colors, and there's really no reason you shouldn't mix these colors, I don't do it mainly for these videos. If I'm not shooting a video and just trying to show off what the pencil could do, I have zero problem with mixing any of my color pencils together. And that goes with water soluble versus oil versus wax. I don't care. As long as the outcome is fine, I don't have a problem with it. But for this, I did not want to mix these pencils. And because of that, I was keeping my fingers crossed that these pencils layered well. And lo and behold, they did. So even to color like my cat, I wanted a deeper orange, like a tabby color. And this set did not provide that. It gave me a bright yellow, a base yellow, and then a bright orange. So in order for me to get the color I wanted, I layered and I layered. I put the light yellow down over the entire thing. Then I worked my way up all the way to the point that I was putting a brown on top of all three of those colors. Now, I was keeping it light. I did not use a heavy hand when layering. It's just because I didn't want to muddy my area. But let me say that these things indeed do layer well. I would not have been able to get the effect I was going for had they not layered. It would have been a very different looking picture if I was stuck using just the palette that they offer. They did a great job when it came to layering. As far as blending goes, I'm gonna say they blended even better than they layered. Where it really, really pushed the colors into themselves. The one I ended up using the most, I did not use a lot of the softer blenders. I used mostly the aggressive and a decent bit of mid-range, but I really, because I was trying to get these colors to mix as opposed to push away, I was using mostly the aggressive blenders, and it worked beautifully. The colors became very vibrant. They had a beautiful transition from lights into darks. I was really, really happy with that. The one thing I'm gonna say that didn't thrill me, other than the lack of colors, 24, it was not great. But the one thing I'm gonna say is they were a little bit sticky. They did not feel like the same formula as a Posca. And my first thought was maybe these were more colors to add to the Posca, but the formula is completely different. It's clearly, like when you start using, if you jump from a Posca into the Toirono, it's clearly a different formula. These are definitely stickier. And that is to say that, and again, I'm trying to find the words that you understand. I think a lot of you will. If you're using a certain wax type of pencil and you're going from left to right, there's that popping sound when the pigment of the lead changes direction. It gives that little pop. This does a lot of that. And I'm not referring to the noise, I'm referring to the feel and the performance of the leads. They were soft and sticky, and they didn't go down as smoothly as I would want them to, but at the same time, they went down as smoothly as I expected a Mitsubishi to go, which is, again, that's a pencil to me that just has a learning curve. These pencils do require a little bit of effort to get them to maybe perform the way you're hoping they will. But get ready for a challenge if you're going to go into it with just these pencils. But having said all that, extremely vibrant. These pencils are fun to use. They blend well, they layer well. I can recommend them. The only reason I'm not giving this big double thumbs up is I would almost wait, if this seems a little bit new, I would almost wait to see if a larger set was coming along, or if you were ready to purchase these, to use them with another set. I could say, yeah, there's nothing about these that are going to blow your mind. They're not like you're going to pick these up and be like, wow, this feels so new and so different. If you've used any of the Mitsubishi pencils, this is a little more the same. They're a little softer, but that's not necessarily a good thing or a bad thing. They're just, they're handled differently. But if you really love the Mitsubishi, yeah, jump on these. If you're looking for a good all-around pencil, I could go ahead and give these a pass. I will be most likely using them again, but next time I use them, it will be with another set.